Hey, you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. Today we're looking at some eerie mysteries that have left authorities baffled. But as always, before we dive into these fascinating cases, remember to hit that subscribe button for more creepy content just like this.
On the 5th of May 1979, calls began pouring into Birmingham, Alabama radio news and the local police department from motorists reporting a car driving around with a hand sticking out of the trunk. The reports spread like wildfire, frustrating police who were unable to locate the vehicle. Sending out one intern, Mark Wynn, and one photographer, Jerry Ayres, in search of the car, Birmingham News would do more than just break the story. They would become heroes. The pair remained determined even after 3 hours on the road without seeing the car. Finally, their efforts were rewarded when Wynn spotted the beige Dodge travelling northbound on Interstate 2059 in Ensley, a neighbourhood of Birmingham. However, that was the moment that reality sunk in for the pair. This was no joke, and they needed police backup immediately. Waiting for the police, the pair were faced with the difficult task of successfully tailing the vehicle without being seen. What's more, the two still had their journalistic duties to attend to, managing to capture photographic evidence of the event. Eventually, the driver of the vehicle became aware of the news reporter's presence. However, the reporters continued to tail the car as it was finally met with a Birmingham police convoy. When rescued, it was revealed that Gary Collier had spent 14 hours in the back of the trunk, after being stabbed, beaten, and robbed. Trying desperately not to pass out from the carbon monoxide emitted from the vehicle's exhaust, he overheard two men discussing how they planned to finish him off. Luckily, Collier was able to get the attention of passing motorists by waving his fingers through a gap in the trunk. While the story ultimately had a happy ending, it could have been a far more sinister one. The chilling mystery is really where the men were planning to take Collier. If it wasn't for the unwavering and undaunted moral and journalistic integrity of Wynn and Ayres, the hand in the trunk mystery might have turned out very differently. First published in 1967, Stranger at the Pentagon was written by multiple PhD recipient Dr. Frank Strangers. Many believe that it is, in fact, a true account of an alien being from Venus named VALIANT THOR, who acted as an advisor to the US government during the 1950s and 60s. One of the most chilling mysteries of the last century, the story implies that the US government has been secretly meeting with beings from other planets for some time. VALIANT THOR, who supposedly had an IQ of 1200, was said to have travelled to Earth by spacecraft, landing in Alexandria, Virginia. Soon, meeting with US President Eisenhower and Vice President Nixon, Thor would claim to have come to Earth from Venus. A benevolent Venusian, Thor's only intentions were to help Earth evade certain peril. He cited everything from the Cold War to nuclear weapons development, and also offered advice on dealing with other alien races. In an effort to keep the universe in balance and avoid certain disaster, Thor would dedicate himself to solving Earth's problems. Bringing his wisdom to Earth, it would seem he would at least partially be believed, as he would go on to maintain VIP status in the Pentagon from 1957 to 1960. Explaining life on Venus, Thor stated his race of people maintained life underground, a way of life familiar to many races throughout the universe. He would also inform them that various groups of life forms from several planetary systems would soon arrive to help Earth prosper. Thor would exercise his vision and influence over the Earth for several years in an attempt to divert the planet from a seemingly inevitable disaster. Whether or not Valiant Thor really was an alien from Venus remains a mystery. However, the man actually did exist, and on occasion even appeared in public, including an appearance at the United Nations headquarters in New York City. Supposedly, the reason why Thor chose Dr. Strangers to tell his story was because of Stranger's devout Christian faith. According to Thor, the Bible was a correct representation of the truth, but Jesus Christ was an alien, not a human. If Dr. Stranger's account of Valiant Thor is indeed true, it would change world history and our planet as we know it. What's more, it proposes the idea that many alien life forms have since visited Earth and acted as advisors in a similar capacity, leaving us to wonder if we'll ever know the true extent of what our governments are hiding. The sleeping sickness sweeping through Kazakhstan's Kalachi village has utterly baffled scientists for years. Leaving his home one morning, village resident Viktor Kazachenko set out to run a few errands. However, he awoke confused 6 days later, having slept the entire time. Upon waking, Kazachenko felt unwell, on edge, and not quite all there. Many other residents of Kalachi have suffered the same fate. Falling asleep for days, the residents have awoken feeling nauseated and dizzy, with horrible headaches and even memory loss resulting from their time asleep. The mysterious ailment has plagued over 150 residents of the village, with many suffering more than once. The sleeping plague that is tormenting the citizens of Kalachi has become one of the most chilling mysteries the government of Kazakhstan has ever faced. Attempting to get to the bottom of the mystery, scientists tested radiation levels, as well as the concentration of heavy metal salts in the area. Both results came back normal. However, it was later determined that increased carbon monoxide levels from a nearby abandoned mine might have been responsible. The government has since offered voluntary relocation assistance to the citizens of Kalachi. However, not all residents are so quick to leave their lifelong homes behind, finding themselves unsure if they'll once again be struck down by this mysterious affliction. Predating the internet, the 1-800-GOLF tip mystery has only been kept alive thanks to sleuths who remember this sensation from the 1990s. In a detailed post to Reddit, user OIGetJokes has compiled a mix of first-hand experience calling the number, as well as various other accounts from around the internet of what others can remember. Advertised the old-fashioned way, using at least one and possibly more billboards across Canada and even the United States, the phone number seemed to be designed to call in order to receive advice about golf. However, upon calling the number, users quickly became perplexed as to what they were hearing. The only sound on the other end of the line, regardless of how many times it was called, was the voice of a man counting from 1 to 10. The heavily accented voice would repeat the numbers over and over again until a loud siren could be heard after the third or fourth time. The mystery surrounding this phone number has had people talking about it for years. As further explained in a video posted to YouTube by channel Barely Sociable, a website named 1800golftip.com has appeared as a dedicated space for those who remember their experiences with the mysterious number. What several sources cite is a distinct variation in the placement of a notable pause between the numbers, seemingly impossible for a pre-recorded line. For so many people to have the same memory of the recording, except for the variances in timing, only serves to deepen the mystery. Some have speculated that the number might have originally been set up by the government as a way to test mind control techniques. In fact, some worry the effects of the recordings have outlived the now defunct phone number, perhaps brainwashing thousands. Further research into the number proves its history is complicated and convoluted, with the number now redirecting to a phone sex hotline. It's unclear what exactly happened to the original owner of the number or what their intention was. However, the phone number's legacy has far outlived itself, proving a mystery to online audiences affected by it even decades later. For more information about the 1-800-GOLF tip number, check out Barely Sociable's video on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description box below. Before we get to that number one spot and take a look at a secret KGB text alleging the existence of aliens, remember to hit that subscribe button and tickle the bell icon. That way you'll be in the loop about all our mysterious and fascinating content. Set to reveal chilling mysteries and long-kept government secrets, the Book of Alien Races has marketed itself as a supposed treasure trove of secret Russian KGB information. Thought to have originally been written in 1946 as a manual to inform KGB agents of the various alien races that have already visited Earth, The text was said to have eventually been translated from Russian into English by a former European Special Forces sergeant named Dante Santori. Collecting first-hand accounts of long covered-up alien encounters as well as Russian documents guarded by the KGB, this book is full of information. While skeptics doubt the authenticity of several of the events detailed in the book, many seem consistent with those historically recounted in several American and European UFO sightings. The book chronicles Russia's relationship with aliens over time, detailing Russia's attempt to create their own spacecraft, as well as their communications with various alien races over the years. It also acts as a guide for the human understanding of alien life forms, recounting their possible intentions regarding the human race, some of which are not positive. While the concept of a leaked alien text is certainly fascinating, if it were true, it would have the power to rewrite history. Unfortunately, without further information regarding its authenticity, this book will have to remain a mystery.
If you want more scary mysteries, then check out that video on the top there. Otherwise, there's a playlist there you can binge on. Now leave us a comment down below. What are your thoughts on some of these cases? Love to get your feedback. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time. Peace!